The Stupid Mario Brothers movie is the worst movie of all time. I hated this film with a passion. Everything about it, the animation, the jokes. It's like if it was made for 4-year-olds. This movie is possibly the worst thing I have ever seen. It is quite possibly even worse than the Super Mario Brothers movie from the
1990s.
Name. Mario. Last name.
Mario.
What's your name?
Luigi. Luigi Mario. It's Mario and Luigi Mario.
This is cinema at its worst. The Super Mario Brothers movie is actually not that bad of a movie. You've seen the reviews, you've seen what the critics say. Why do you care? Honestly, the critics who go see these movies probably been years since they played a Mario game. The last Mario game they played was probably Super Mario Brothers, the original from the fucking Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985. Now, this film it's not supposed to be this critically acclaimed film, and I never thought it was going to be. I just thought it was going to be a fun adaptation of the Super Mario Brothers video game, and it was exactly that. I had so much fun watching this movie. I was completely entertained. The bar wasn't high anyways in terms of Illumination projects, but this is quite possibly the best Illumination movie that they have ever done. Let's talk about a couple positives about the movie. The animation is great. I think this is probably the Illumination's best looking film by a long shot. Just the environments from the Super Mario Brothers video game just really helped it out. You know, the way they incorporated a lot of the lore from like the video games and a lot of the characters is, I think, great. I completely love that they come from that Mario and Luigi come from Brooklyn, the real world, and they get transported into the Mushroom Kingdom. I am perfectly fine with that, and I thought it worked flawlessly for the film. And then just the way that, you know, the warp pipes just take the characters to like different worlds and stuff is perfect for me, because that's just how it is in the video game too. Now I think Nintendo fans and children probably take the most out of this movie. They'll get most of the references. And a lot of people's critiques about this movie was, oh, it's just references galore. Now, I've seen a lot of references movies, such as Ready Player One, and a lot of Marvel movies. Now, when it comes to those films, Chippendale is another example, everything's just kind of thrown in there for no purpose. Now, with the Super Mario Brothers movie, I feel like the way they incorporated the references is natural. Like it's natural to the environment that they live in, and nothing's too forced. It's not like, oh look, here's a GameCube, or like, oh look, here's the Nintendo Entertainment System. But yeah, I thought everything flowed naturally. The pacing for me was a little bit hit or miss. Towards the beginning, I thought it was a little too quick, but as you adapt to it, I feel like it just gets more comfortable towards the middle and towards the end of the movie. So the pacing started off, I was a little bit iffy about it, but towards the middle, towards the end, I got completely used to it, and I think it worked in the film's favor. It's only an hour and 30 minutes, but does it feel like an hour and 30 minutes? Yeah, it does. I mean, the time definitely does go by, but then again, it just worked in its favor for this Mario Bros. Movie. You're not gonna expect a 3-hour long epic for this. Now, I'm gonna talk about a handful of gripes that I had. So, talked about the pacing, but that wasn't a big issue for me. One, I feel like the character of Mario and Princess Peach are a little bit too one-dimensional. I definitely want to see more, like variety in terms of their character, because I feel like they're a little bit too one-note. Especially Princess Peach. I feel like she's like, I like what they did to the character, but the way they write her is just, it's too perfect. She's too perfect of a character. Like, she has no flaws, she does no wrong, and they definitely need a lot more development with her character, maybe a little bit more in her background. You know, the worst characters in any movie or show are the ones that are perfect and flawless, because you can't relate to them. We need to find something relatable in this character. So I feel like they can definitely work on that for the sequel. Another thing I wasn't a big fan of was, man, you have a wide variety of Super Mario Brothers music. Why the fuck did you put like 5 like 1980 songs and force them in there? That was probably, for me, the worst aspect of this movie was the fucking soundtrack. Why? Nintendo has such a good library of music, which I'm not saying they didn't use, because they did use some of those in the movie, but why would you put these songs from the 1980s that do not fit in the movie? This definitely felt like it's just 1980s playlist on shuffle, because wow, that was, for me, that was one of the worst aspects of this film, was just the way that they just shuffled these songs into there with no relevance to the story whatsoever. That I hated that. Now, if they could change that for the sequel, put more Nintendo music, because man, they have a library of music. Make a couple remixes, like you did a couple of times in the movie, but just do not put pop music in these movies, please, because it just takes you out of the film so much. It's like if you're playing a Mario game and then next thing you know, boom, you get hit with Take On Me. And it's like, that's gonna take you out of the game, just like how it took me out of the film. Another gripe that I had, the film wants to commit to a 1980s setting, but at the same time, they have modern technology. So it just contradicts everything that the setting's trying to go for. I don't know why they didn't commit to just a full 1980s setting, but they just decided to go back and forth about it. You know, you see flat screen TVs right next to arcade machines. You see Luigi's cell phone right next to like a 1980s old school style pizza place. You see Mario playing the NES on an old TV monitor. Wow, you know, you clearly saw a flat screen TV on like the previous shot. So I feel like they should definitely just commit to a certain era or a certain setting when it comes to the real world. They did a good job at doing that when it was at the Mushroom Kingdom, but when it was in the real world, yeah, definitely I was a little bit mixed on like, oh well, is this the 1980s? Is this 2023? Is this the future? What the fuck is this? Because it didn't work well with the whole setting of the film. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed my time. I'm not gonna say I love this movie, but it definitely was what I thought this movie was gonna be, and it was a great, fun, enjoyable time at the movies. I'm excited for the sequel, whatever else they're gonna make. Add Wario, add Waluigi, add Bowser Jr., add Daisy, add Rosalina, add all these characters. They have so much content to work with, and I'm excited to see what the future is for these Mario animated films. With that being said, go watch the Mario Brothers movie. Go make your own review on this film. Let me know what you think. And with that being said, I'll see you guys for the next movie review.
From Hollywood Pictures, on May 28th, jump to the ultimate level of excitement.
Give me the rock! Come and get it, lizard breath!
Super Mario Brothers, rated PG, parental guidance suggested.